Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are excited to have a seminar today called Popular Scams and How to Avoid Them. We have Mr. George Dillman with us. He's with the he's our consumer outreach specialist with the Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. So we thank you so much, George, for being with us today. Just have a couple housekeeping items. I am recording this session, so if you miss a part of it or if you want to go back and watch it, we will have it on our website afterwards. Please keep any questions until the end, as George can answer them then. So George, thanks so much, and I'm going to hand it over to you now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Victoria. All right, so we're talking about popular scams and how to avoid them. Every day, people get scammed out of thousands of dollars by professionals with the finger quotes, right? Looking to separate them from their hard-earned money. This presentation will introduce you to common scams that are out there, what to look for, and how to avoid them. Now, did you know, according to the FTC, consumers reported losing more than $3.3 billion to fraud in 2020, and that's up from $1.8 billion in 2019, and they just expect it to continue growing, especially with all the new cyber stuff that's going on. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. This is what we're going to be talking about today: top scams, what to watch for, how to avoid scams and protect yourself, resources, and where to go for help. Now, first, we all know this. If it sounds too good to be true, probably is. We'll talk more about that, especially those investment scams that are out there. But first, we're going to talk about those heartstring scams, right? The scams.
Join the meeting.
The scams that tug at the heartstrings. What are we looking for? We're looking for scams where they're making an instant connection. There's a trust or a buy-in. There's some type of an emergency. Funds are needed or information is needed. Most, if not all, of these scams, they're either looking for funds or they're looking for information in order to get funds. And as probably as soon as possible.
Join the meeting.
Probably as soon as possible. They want to catch us off guard, not thinking straight. And next thing you know, we're out how many thousands of dollars, to somebody that we thought was a trusted contact, if you will. So we're going to start with the romance scam. The largest two articles I read were the largest money-making scam in 5 states, including the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is the romance scam. You know, whether it's us or whether it's somebody that we know, because that's dating nowadays, right? In my day, it was the Friday night mixer, Saturday night mixer. Now it's the dating websites and the dating apps that are out there. We have to be careful with the scam artists that are prowling these sites looking for victims through the romance scam. What happens? I go on a site, I build a profile, somebody reaches out to me, lo and behold, their profile fits mine perfectly. What are the odds, right? As quickly as they can, they try to get me off of that site onto a lower profile site, so to speak, like a personal email, texting, phone calls. So so for them, they're now under the radar. And by the way, with this scam, the person is never like right down the street or over in the next town, down in Wilkes-Barre or anywhere where we could go meet them someplace halfway in between for a cup of coffee and a chat to see if this is a connection for both of us. They're always in another state, or what's popular now is they're in another country. Maybe I'm working on a government contract for the next 6 to 8 months, or I'm in the military for the next 6 to 8 months, or doing volunteer work, something like that. They're never right down the street. So they try to get as quickly as they can off that site to a less profiled site to connecting, and then it's not long, a few exchanges of messages, and lo and behold, they fall madly in love with us. Oh, you are the person that I want to be with the rest of my life. When I'm back from this overseas assignment or back from this state, I want us to be together. I want us to get married. You're now my new romantic partner. It's not long after that the emergency happens. Something happens. I need funds, and as my new romantic partner, you're the only one that can help me. Can you send me $1,000? and and maybe there's even a promise of paying it back. And then a lot of times, and this can happen with a lot of scams, they'll kind of reload on it. They'll come back for more. A couple of weeks later, they need another $1,000 or $800 for something else, or money for something else. They're coming home. They want to come home to see you, but they need the money for airfare, and you send them 800. So they'll keep dragging us along until we realize we're being scammed and stop, or until they've completely drained. Some of these people have had their entire life savings drained through a romance scam. So we have to be careful. Keep an eye out. Big red flag. Somebody is not. You don't meet them in person, and it's not long. They're looking for money for something, and so we need to put a stop right then and there. Charity scams. A lot of charities out there that people like to give money to. There's a few that I like to give to, but we have to be careful with the scammers looking to take money through a so-called charity. Sometimes they'll set up a charity as if it's an actual charity. They might make this name sound a little different, but it sounds like a real charity that we're familiar with. Or they might just completely make up a charity. Again, tugging at their heartstring. They might come up with something like the Disabled Veterans of the United States Fund. Please give to those who defended us, and so on and so forth. And it's completely made up. And a lot of times, again, they're looking to get those funds right away. Hey, we need the donation. We need it today. If you donate today only, if you donate today, we have matching funds that'll double your donate, or whatever they do to try, or they can do to try to get us to pay, and to pay right away. We have to take a step back. We want to make sure this is an actual legitimate charity before we send them anything. Get the name of the charity, Google the name of the charity online. After you Google the name, type in scams, complaints, or both, see if anything pops up. Ask them for information. I don't do any, maybe the story is, hey, I don't do anything unless I see something in writing. I need you to send me information on your charity. I'll have time to look at it, read it over, and then I'll decide. Chances are, if it's a scam, they don't have any information, so it could put a stop right there. But we got to be careful with the fake charities out there, that are vying for our money with the actual charities. Relative in distress scam, sometimes known as the grandparent scam, or it can even be a friend. Maybe somebody that we know. But this is the typical scam, popular one with retirees. And again, if not us, a lot of these scams will scammers target seniors, retirees. So if not us, we have to keep an eye out for older family members and friends that are out there. And this is one that's popular with seniors, called the grandparent scam. And I always explain this one, or the relative in distress scam, with a scenario. I get a phone call, "Grandpa, it's me." And a lot of times they don't give a name because they don't have a name. They wait for grandpa or grandma to give a name. "Johnny, is that you?" "Yeah, it's me, Johnny." "Well, Johnny, it doesn't sound like you." "Well, that's because I was in." Oh, by the way, just like the romance scam, they're never right down the street or over in the next town where you could go help them personally. They're always in another state or someplace else where you can't go and directly help them. I sound funny because I was in an accident. My nose is broke. I'm down in Georgia with a group of friends. We were in an accident. I was driving, and the cops say it was my fault, and they put me in jail, and I need $1,000 bail. Can you wire it? Can you wire it right away? Because there's bad people in here, and I don't want to be in here. And please don't tell my parents about it," and so on and so forth. And that's kind of how the traditional scam works. I had a relative who got not taken, but kind of a similar play on this scam, where him and his wife got an email from, they're part of a bird watching group. They got an email from the head of the bird watching group. He was in Europe on vacation, lost his return plane ticket, all of his money. He needs a couple $100s to get back. Can you wire money to him to this place so he can get back? And they're about ready to do it till my relative said, "Well, gee, you know what? Let's call him first, make sure." They call him. Sure enough, he's nowhere in Europe. He's at home watching television. Somebody hacked into his email account, got his entire email contact list, reached out to everyone, and unfortunately, at least several people sent the money. So we have to be careful. Relative in distress, friend in distress. we want to check on this before, we do anything. If you're on the phone with the so-called, with the grandson, maybe we put that person on hold. Hey, Johnny, can you hold on 1 second? I'm expecting this call. Just hold on. I'll get right back to you. You put Johnny on hold, and then you call Johnny with the number that is his number, and you're probably confirmed that Johnny's safely at home watching TV or somewhere else. Can do other things too. I talked to somebody who at a presentation who said their family came up with a code word that if something like this happens, they have to use this code word. And she said that she had Johnny, or whatever the guy's name, call her pretending to be her grandson. She asked Johnny for the code word, and he couldn't give it to her, so she hung up on him. Or if you know it's a scam, I've several people recently who got this phone call, and they said they're not even a grandparent. They never even had children. I threw my arms up. It's a miracle. All of a sudden I have grandkids I didn't know about. So got to be careful. Check them out. Again, do what we can to check them out. If we think it could be a relative or a friend, follow up before we send that money. How can we avoid, protect ourselves? Don't believe what you hear at face value, right? Check it out, verify it before we do anything. Don't send money, or be careful how you do send the money. Like wire transfers are very popular because, hey, once those funds are transferred, it could be very difficult to get those funds back. It's almost like handing cash over. What's popular now, people are catching on to the wire transfers, is gift cards, especially with seniors. Oh, grandpa, you got to go down. They need this. They need the bail money, but you have to go down to the local department store and buy $1,000 in gift cards, and I need you to bring them back and read the numbers off the back. And of course, by reading those numbers, it gives them access to that cash, to that money, and they get it right away. So we have to be careful with if we are, how we are exchanging funds in situations like that. All right, banking scams. Scams around financial institutions, attempts to access our funds in any way that they can. They appear authentic. They build on trust. Immediate action is required. And there's several here that I point out. Counterfeit check scams, which is a biggie. And counterfeit checks and overpayment scam is basically the same thing. Overpayment might be several transactions. Counterfeit checks, very popular with big ticket items. And this is the example that I use with that. I'm selling a car. I'm selling a car on eBay, and I want $8,000, or not eBay, Craigslist. That's the Craigslist. Maybe I'm on eBay as well. I'm selling a car in Craigslist, and I want $8,000 for this used car that I'm selling. Somebody reaches out to me. Oh my God! Lo and behold, this is the exact car I'm looking for. Same make, model, year, color, everything that I'm looking for. Hey, I'm sending you the old-fashioned check. Fantastic. I get the check. The check is for too much money. It's for $10,000 rather than $8,000. I reach out to them, or they reach out to me. Oh, gee, I'm sorry. I was looking at several cars. Apparently I sent you, obviously sent you too much money. I'll tell you what, go ahead and deposit the check. But if you could wire back the extra $2,000, if you could do that right away, I could really use that extra $2,000 back right away. Go ahead and deposit the check. If you can wire back the extra two, that would be great. And then I think we know where this is leading to, so I wire the money back to the person. Then 2 weeks later, when the check doesn't clear because it's a fake check, I'm now out $2,000, because guess who's held obligated to that? It's me. I'm the one who deposited the check. The same thing with the overpayments. Basically the same thing, sending money back to somebody before that check clears, and I'm responsible for that. So we have to be careful. The pay up front scam can be done with a couple different things. We're going to talk about something fairly soon where that would take place. But one biggie that this is popular with is like contractors. There's contracting scams out there. And one popular one is, maybe I'm outside working in my yard. Guy pulls up in a truck, or a woman pulls up in a truck, and looks good. It looks like, the name of the business is on the side of the truck. The roof rack is there, the ladders, maybe material in the back of the truck. And they get out and introduce themselves. Hey, we're working on a neighbor's house a couple blocks over. And maybe the story is that they're in the neighborhood and I'm just checking around, or looks like you could use the same type of work. We have extra material here. I'll tell you what, I could give you a really good deal. We're already in the neighborhood. We have the extra material. I could give you a really good deal on doing this work for you. So you discuss it, you discuss price, you might even do a contract, which could turn out to be a fake contract. And maybe they're asking, because it's such a good deal, they're asking for all that money up front. Maybe they're asking for that money up front in cash if you have the cash available. So you pay them the upfront fee for this work they're going to do. They leave and they never come back. It was all a scam. Or they do the job and they do such shoddy work that you need to hire somebody else to come in and fix what they supposedly did. This was there was one that was very popular for a while. I'm not sure if it's still popular, where people were resurfacing driveways. And they had extra material. Were offering people really good deals on resurfacing their driveways, charge them a premium price, and they use such cheap, watered down material that after the first couple rainstorms, it washed everything away. And of course they're out. They're long gone. So we got to be careful. Any type of pay up front situation, we got to be careful with what we're doing, who we're doing with. Again, we want to make sure we check them out before we do anything. How to avoid these scams? Be careful about financial transactions with strangers, especially cash. Do not give change from a check, right? Yeah, give you to them, and then 2 weeks later when the check doesn't clear, yada, yada, yada. Remember, you are responsible for all funds you deposit to your account. Yeah, it doesn't matter who gave us the check. We got the check. We deposited that check. We're responsible for that, especially if we tried pulling funds from that check. Imposter scams. They appear to be a trusted representative, immediate need to solve an issue or get something, money, information, or access to information, which will get them money. We're going to look first at government representative scams. The traditional one, the one I think that started it all, was the IRS scam. I think a lot of us might be familiar with this, where I get a phone call, again, a lot of times targeting seniors. I get a phone call from the IRS, supposedly from the IRS. I owe the IRS all kinds of money, and unless I pay that money today, they're sending the cops out to pick me up and take me to jail. Oh my God, how do I get this money to you? And some person gets all flustered and they're ready to send the money. Now they've kind of expanded that. Social Security might be the same thing. Your Social Security number has been compromised, or you owe Social Security overpaid you X number of dollars, and you need to pay that money back today. And if not, we're cutting off your Social Security check. Or, again, your number was compromised. We need you to give us all of your personal information so we can look into this and blah, blah. And of course, that's the scam. They're not getting money, they're getting information, which can lead to getting money. There's one with Medicare where they were reaching out to people, offering them this free brass-plated Medicare card. No cost, and they, all they needed to do was give them all their information, including their Medicare card number, which we don't want to do. Bottom line with these government rep scams is nobody from the government is going to reach out to us especially by telephone, demanding something, demanding information or money or information that will lead to them getting money from us as a scammer. They're not going to do that. No government agency has the people to do these types of things. They probably have to have a call center the size of at least 1 or 2 football fields with people reaching out to consumers about these various issues. So if a government agency is going to reach out to us, they're going to do it by letter. They're going to send us a letter. They're going to give us time to read it over, to look at it, to show somebody, maybe call them about it, so on and so forth. You get a call like that from a government agency, hang up on them, and then maybe what you do is you reach out to them. I reach out to the local IRS office with a verified number that I know is for the local IRS office, and ask them if I owe the IRS money. Or the same thing with Social Security. before we jump and hand over something we don't want to do. Microsoft Office scam. You get a call from supposedly from a Microsoft Office rep. I have all these viruses on my computer, and as a representative from Microsoft, they're here to help. All I need, I pay them a fee, I give them access to my computer, and they'll go in and eliminate all these viruses for me. So I fall for it, I pay the fee, I give them control of my computer. I see my arrow going all over the place. The arrow pulls up this box with all these viruses on. They're fake viruses. And I see them eliminating these viruses. Best case scenario, I'm paying a fee for something they're really not doing. They're all fake viruses. It's all a scam. Worst case scenario, because I gave them control of my computer, access to my computer, they could be in there stealing things off my computer. Maybe that's the reason for that big box with that big fake box with all the fake viruses. And or they could be planting some type of malicious software that allows them to come back at a later time and date and steal things off my computer without me knowing about it. So we have to be careful. No one from Microsoft is going, or Dell or Apple is going to reach out to us telling us we have viruses. We're going to have to find them. We're going to have to reach out to somebody on that. International lottery scam. You get a call, phone call. A lot of these are phone calls. You get a phone call. You won this lottery. Victoria, you won this lottery. You never even knew you entered. Millions and millions of dollars. And all you need to do to secure those millions is pay some upfront fees and taxes, $800 to $1,000. But once you paid that, they're going to release those millions to you. Sounds like a good deal, right? Right? Yeah, exactly. And we know where that's going. And that's another version of the pay up front scam, by the way. Pay a little to get a lot, right? You pay some the carrot and the stick. Again, that's the scam. Another version of this scam is they're not asking you to pay upfront fees and taxes, but they need all of your information in order to, including your bank account information, to release these millions. And we know where that's going. Yeah, they're going to be doing a withdrawal rather than a deposit. So again, be wary about these lotteries we never knew that we entered, and being the big winner for these lotteries, especially if we have to pay something up front in order to get those millions. Credit repair scams. There's a company that's advertising on TV right now, and I'm thinking, if this company is legal, it's just barely legal with this. But the scam itself works this way, where I tell somebody I can repair their credit score. They have bad credit, they have this on it, they have that on it, it's driving down that credit score. They, high debt, and they're struggling to pay the bills. And I can help them. I can help them, improve their credit score. They either I may able to do this, or they do this, where we reach out to those three main credit reporting bureaus and dispute all of the bad things that are on our credit history. They're in there driving our score down. What happens if you contact those credit reporting bureaus and dispute any charges that are on there? They'll take them off, at least temporarily, until they investigate it to see if this is really yours or somebody else's. So they'll take all these bad things off of your credit. Once they do that, what happens to your score? Score goes up, right? Hey, look what I did. I raised your number. I repaired your credit for you. You pay them a fee. Maybe I've already paid them an upfront fee for this. And then a couple months later, when the bureaus realize that all this bad credit was yours, it was created by you, it all gets put back on to your credit report and drives that score back down, and that person is long gone. Bottom line is, with credit repair, there's actually three people that can help us, Victoria, repair our credit score. You know who those three people are? Me, myself, and I. we're the ones who can. It's called paying down our debt, paying our bills on time, paying off, so on and so forth. We know that we're the ones that can repair our credit. Okay. How to avoid and protect yourself. Government agencies will not call out of the blue demanding money or information. We have to be wary of contests that we win that we've never entered, especially if they're looking for something in order to get those millions. You are the one who can repair your credit. we're the ones that can do that. Tell them you will call them back, then do it with a verified number again. And this kind of refers back to especially those government agencies that call us out of the blue, telling us we owe them this, we owe them that, we have to do this, we have to do that. You know what? Let me give you a call back. And you hang up, and then you call back. You call the agency back with a verified number to the local agency, with a number that is for that local office, if you will, Social Security, IRS, so on and so forth. Virtual scams involves any scam that uses the internet to persuade you to give up, identifying information or financial information. Do you know the sender? They're asking for money or information. Maybe they're asking for both. You need to open an attachment, click a link, download something. I'm going to start with apps. Experts say that more than 1/3 of these third-party apps that people will download to their computing devices have malicious software attached to them. Maybe something again, by downloading that app, I'm downloading this malicious software without knowing it to my computing device, and might allow them to, maybe it's ransomware, freezes up my device, and I got to pay a ransom in order to be able to use my device again, or it allows them to come in at any time they want to steal things off my computer. Not only downloading apps, but we could do this by hitting links, by opening attachments. So we really want to make sure this is from a trusted source before we do any of this. We have phishing, smishing, and fake websites. Phishing are related to emails, phishing emails trying to get something from us. Smishing is reference to the text messages where they're trying to get something from us. The example I'm going to use with the phishing is I get an email from my local bank. Susie at my local bank, she's in customer service. I get this email, hello, Mr. Dillman, this is Susie at your local bank. The bank is updating their records, and we're reaching out to all of our customers, asking them to hit the link below. And by hitting the link below, it's going to take you to another page where we want you to confirm all your information, so we make sure we have our records up to date. So I'm going to help out the bank. I hit the link, I go to the page, and I confirm my name, my address, my social security number, my date of birth, my telephone number, my bank account numbers, everything that somebody needs in order to steal my identity. And that's the scam. Without knowing it, I got a fake email from some scammer looking to steal that information from me. And or by hitting that link, I could be downloading something nasty to my computer without knowing that. It allows them to come in anytime they want to steal something off my computer. So we got to be careful. We want to make sure. I mean, that email, looks good. Maybe I got emails from my bank before. It looks, the company name is there, the logo, everything is as it would appear in an actual email from them. At this day and age, very easy to copy and paste or Photoshop things to make it look like it actually came from the source. So we really want to be careful. Maybe reach out to before we hit any link, maybe we reach out to our bank in that scenario, and not with the number that's probably in the email, because we know where that number is going to go. Excuse me. We know where that number is going to go, but with a verified number that we know is for our local bank to confirm whether they sent us this email or not. We could get an email from a good friend, right? I got my buddy Joe. He sends me an email. He has a Word document attached to it. Hey, George, how you doing? Hey, I'm sending a letter to the electric company. Can you open up the attached Word document? It has the letter on. Can you look at it, make sure everything looks okay, for me before I send the letter? So I want to help my buddy Joe out. I opened up the attachment. Again, not knowing that it didn't come from him. It came from somewhere else. And by opening that attachment, and again, something gets downloaded to my computer. So we really have to be careful. Smishing is kind of the same with text messages. What's popular right now with texting, with a lot of people buying things online, is I get a text message supposedly from FedEx, UPS, Amazon, or whatever. Something's wrong with my order. Hit this link. We need all of your information again. And once again, by hitting that link, I'm going to a page and giving my information to somebody I really don't want to give it to, and or by hitting that link, I'm downloading something nasty to my computer. So we have to be careful. Fake websites, same thing. Yeah, scammers, again, This day and age, copy and paste Photoshop. They can make a fake website looks just like maybe say our favorite retail website, bigboxretailer.com. Looks good, the company name, the logo, and I get directed. What's popular right now is getting directed from social media to your favorite retail site. Maybe this big sale. Oh, hit the link, go to Big Box Retailer today, only 50% off in electronics. Oh my God, so you hit the link and you go to the website, and it looks like the website, everything's there. And I shop, I put stuff in my cart, I check out, I give them all my information, only to find out at a later point that it was a fake website, some scammer looking to get my information. And not just sites that we're familiar with, but maybe they make up a site, and they advert. We get a notification. Hey, come check out Big John's Big Discounts.com. Everything on sale every day. Hit this link and go to our page. $50 credit on your first order. Oh my God! Or download our app. Download our app for $100 credit towards your first order. Oh my God, you download the app or you hit the link. And of course, again, we know where we're going with that. So we have to be careful. Check them out. I get that message about the big sale at my favorite big box retail site. Maybe I reach out to their customer service. I reach out to somebody before I do that, or I go to the site with the web address that I know is their web address, and I confirm once I'm there whether they actually have this sale or not. Same thing with the phishing and smishing. You reach out to them with a verified number. I reach out to my bank with a verified number to confirm whether they sent me this email or not. Something else that we can do, at least with emails and websites, is something called the hovering technique, where you take your arrow and you place the arrow over top of the email address or the web address. You don't click on it; you just hover over it with the arrow. And once you do that, a box will pop up, and where it says, like with the email, where it says in the email address. Where it says the email came from, in the box that pops up, it'll tell you where that email actually came from. I'm going to be silly, but the email says Susie@yourbank.com. The box that pops up says Johnny Scammer at scammersareus.com. It's not going to be that obvious, but it's something different to where it says it came from. Anything, and what we need to look for are those subtle differences. And here's the example. I get the email from Susie@yourbank.com, and your bank is one word. I hover over it, over the email address, the box pops up. In the box, it says Susie@your-bank.com. That one difference, and we might not notice it right away, but that one difference, that one dash between your and bank is the difference from actually coming from the bank or coming from another source. So that's what we have to look out for. We can do the same thing with websites. I get directed to bigboxretailer.com. I hover over it, box pops up, it says bigboxretailer.com. Wait a second, in the box that pops up, it's a box is spelled with a 0 rather than an O. Again, that one difference is the difference from actually being on the site or being on a fake site. So so something else we can use to see whether something actually came from the source or we're at the source rather than somewhere else. How do we avoid and protect ourselves? Research all new websites. Again, BigJohnsBigDiscounts.com. I'm probably going to Google the name of the company, just like with the charity scams. Google the name of the company, and afterwards type in scams, complaints, or both. See if anything pops up. Check with the Better Business Bureau. Ask around before I start using or especially downloading anything from their site. Be cautious when being directed to sites through social media, emails, etc. Email and text, check for grammar and spelling. Confirm some of these emails that we still get. It looks like a third grader send it. Good chance it might have come from somewhere where the English language is not so good and not from a legitimate source. Confirm sender before clicking links or attachments or downloading apps. When in doubt, don't click it, delete it. All right, investment scams. I'm like you, so you can trust me, right? It's guaranteed rates of return, high rates of return, little to no risk on your investment, get rich quick, so to speak. Do you know who promised all of that? Gentleman that we all know by the name of Bernie Madoff, and we know what happened there. A lot of people lost a lot of money in this so-called great investment opportunity that he had, and that's what he promised. He guaranteed a 15% rate of return, no matter what the market was doing, and essentially a high rate of return, because 15% is a pretty high rate of return. Any of us who do invest, it's a pretty high rate of return. Some of these scammers will promise 25, 30%, 50% rates of return, at little to no risk. They just don't go hand in hand. First of all, the stock market, as we know, does this. We can't guarantee any rate of return. We don't know what the stock market's going to do. And we know especially with stocks, we're looking at some risk. Now, there's a question about the long term, but short term, we are looking at some risks because of that up and down. So anybody guarantees all of that, that's a big red flag that there's probably something up. And I probably want to get as much information from them as I can, and then report it to us so we can investigate it. So let's start with popular investment scams now. Affinity fraud. Affinity fraud, and that's the one at the top on the right-hand side, is the "I'm like you, so you can trust me" scam. And affinity fraud can be used with just about any type of scam out there. The whole idea is that I appear to be like you, so you trust me more. I came from a sales and marketing background, and when I was in sales, there was a sales technique called mirroring. You're trying to sell somebody on something, whatever the product or service is, and you mirror what they do, you mirror what they say. They talk like this, you talk like this. They use their hands, you use your hands. They do this a lot, or they do this a lot. You copy whatever they're doing. I like what you like, I do what you do. If you appear to be like the person that you're dealing with, they'll tend to trust you more, and they'll tend to buy from you more. Same thing, it's basically the same thing with affinity fraud. I'm like you, so you can trust me more, and you'll buy into this great investment opportunity. Maybe I join the same social group or church group. It can be popular with church groups, unfortunately. And so I join a church, and I get involved in different activities. I volunteer for things. I get to know everybody. Everybody gets to know me. Oh, George is like me. And of course, he goes to the same church, and he's such a nice guy. And then next thing you know, George has this great investment opportunity that just can't miss. And I collect a bunch of money, and I hit the road, so to speak, and George is never seen from again. Or I start a Ponzi scheme. Switching. Ponzi schemes, a lot of times affinity fraud is associated with Ponzi schemes. Ponzi schemes started by Charles Ponzi back in the early 1900s, and it actually started out as a legitimate investment opportunity that just got out of control. He realized at some point he could not pay back the rates of interest that he promised his investors, so he started paying back investors with new money that came in. And that's how the Ponzi scheme started. I get people to buy into this great investment opportunity. Bernie Madoff, that's what he did. He did that for 30 or 35 years. I think the longest Ponzi scheme and biggest money-making Ponzi scheme ever. But you get people to buy into this so-called investment opportunity that you have. And as you get new people investing, you start paying back the first investors with the new money that's coming in, keeping most of it for yourself, of course. And then you just continue that. As you get new investors, then that next group of investors start getting paid back with the new money that's coming in, and so on and so forth. And a lot of these Ponzi schemes, at some point, that the new investors at some point dry up. There's no new investments coming in. There's no money to be paid out, and it falls apart like a house of cards. Unfortunately, there are people that can and do lose a lot of money. Bernie Madoff and people that invested their entire life savings with his so-called investment opportunity, they're still waiting to get some of their funds back. They might be waiting forever. So we have to be careful with that. And those are usually key things involved with a Ponzi scheme. High rates of return, guaranteed rates of return at little to no risk. They're basically telling us everything we want to hear. And doing that. Investment seminars, and this can carry over to investment seminars. The free lunch, the free breakfast, lunch, or dinners, and then you sit in on our investment seminar. Some of these, maybe a lot of these, are legitimate. I get a postcard every, like, twice a year. I think I get a postcard from a local financial professional, and I looked into this guy, and I verified that he is, first of all, if we're looking to invest with a financial professional, we want to make sure they're licensed and legit. How do we do that? You can reach out to us. We'll tell you exactly what you need to do to find out, to make sure somebody is licensed and legit. Make sure that they're, and you can look at other things too. Are they local? How long have they been doing it? Do they have any complaints against them? So this person, that sends a, license, he's licensed and legit, and he does these free dinners at two very nice local restaurants, very pricey local restaurants. And every so often I think about doing it just to get the free meal out of it. Of course, then I realize what I'm giving up in order to get that free meal. I'm giving him all, I probably have to give him all my contact information. He's going to bug me about investing with him, as well as everyone else that attends. And you have the free meal, and they do this whole investment seminar. Now, in his case, I believe, the investment should be legitimate. There are scammers out there who, again, pretending to be financial professionals that will do this, and they'll get people to invest maybe a good chunk of money, and then of course they skip town and you never see them again. So we have to be careful. Even with the legitimate investment seminars, we have to realize why we're doing it. And a lot of them are banking on the fact, like this guy that with the local restaurants, a lot of them are banking on the fact that they gave us something, gave us this really nice free meal. Now I feel obligated to give him something. I need to invest something with him, and that's the whole reasoning behind that. How to avoid and protect yourself: investigate before you invest. Again, look into them. FINRA.org, Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA.org. Through that, you can investigate, or you can reach out to our office. I'll have our contact information afterwards, and you can investigate financial professionals before you work with them. First and foremost, we want to make sure they're licensed and legit. A lot of these scammers don't have a license, or they might have had a license and lost it in some cases. Be cautious about testimonials from other investors. One of the reasons why we, with a Ponzi scheme, we want to make sure those initial investors get paid back right away. Because guess what? They're going to become, even though they know that, whether they know it or not, they're going to become sales reps for us. Look at this. Look at the investment. He guaranteed me 15% rate of return, and I got it. Oh, you got to get in on this. And they become spokespeople for us, going out there, getting new victims, so to speak. So we got to be careful. Beware of promises of quick returns, high returns, guaranteed, risk-free profits. Those are key words when it comes to the investment scams. Know exactly how the investment works. Discuss with a neutral, if this is a legitimate investment, they're going to be able to explain how it works, how they can guarantee all this. With the scammers, they're not going to be able to do it. You want to go with a list of questions. How can you guarantee 15%? Where do you get this 15% rate of return from? How can you guarantee little? And with all these questions, and if they kind of they kind of glaze over it, or they try to sidestep it, or maybe they'll do things like, well, gee, that's kind of a stupid question. I mean, if they can't give us a good legitimate answer, that there's another surefire sign that this is a scam, and we probably want to avoid it and probably report this person to someone. Discuss with a neutral outside professional before we do anything. Somebody who is legitimate, somebody that you trusted source. Reach out to us, or maybe a financial professional that is licensed and legit, and ask them about this. Other ways to protect yourself: beware of direct interaction with people you do not know. Guard social security number and other personal information. They don't need a lot in order to steal our ID and use it against us. Secure documents and shred them when no longer needed. Keep our sensitive documents in a safe place, and we don't need them. We want to shred them, and we want to use at least a crosscut shredder. They have these new micro shredders now that shreds it even finer. And for those of you living in a rural area, if any of you do, and you still have burn barrels, that's probably the best way to get rid of stuff. How do you put ash and smoke back together to steal somebody's information? So check your bank and your credit card statements. Check your credit reports. We get one free credit report from each year from the three main credit reporting bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. This site, annualcreditreport.com, we don't endorse any other site. This is the one site that's mandated by the feds. This is the one site that's overseen by those three main credit reporting bureaus. There's others out there. We know, we see them advertised on TV all the time. Our question is, what are you giving up in order to get this free service, the TV? That said, I've talked to people who use this one that they saw on TV, use that one they saw on TV. They're perfectly happy with it. If you're already using something, you're happy with it, continue doing it. The whole idea is to check your report, check it at least once a year. One surefire way of knowing whether somebody has stolen our identity from us and is using it against us, because it should show up on the credit reports. What are we looking for? You're going to check each name, address, and telephone number, verify existing credit limits and balances, look for accounts that aren't yours. I do this all the time because you practice what you preach. I'm checking my credit reports. And it's funny how I remember everything from the start of our credit history till up to current times. And I recognize everything on there that's mine. And and something that isn't mine will probably stick out like a sore thumb. And I'll use a scenario here. I go and check my credit report, and there's 2 credit cards on there that I know I didn't open. They're open in my name. They're probably racked to the hilt, not getting paid on. There's a loan in there taken out in my name that I know I didn't do. There was a car purchased in my name, so on and so forth. Somebody stole my ID. They're using it. They're ruining my credit. Well, what do I do? I report it to those 3 main credit reporting bureaus. We kind of alluded back to the credit repair, with the credit repair scam. If something isn't right, we contact those 3 main credit reporting bureaus. Here's their contact information: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. 2 reasons reported to them. Again, I kind of talked about this earlier, where they're going to do their own investigation. They're going to take those 2 credit cards off my account that I say aren't mine, that loan and that car loan. They're going to take that off. They're going to investigate them to confirm whether this was actually mine or somebody else's. And of course, while I'm doing this, I'm doing other things to repair retrieve my identification and repair everything. So they're going to take this off. They're going to do their own investigation. Also, through those 3 main credit reporting bureaus, I'm going to freeze my accounts. It's easy and it's free to do. And I'm going to reach out to all 3 of them. We want to reach out to all 3 of them. So to report it, they can start their investigation, and so they can freeze our accounts. They freeze our accounts. Nobody can do any activity or any new activity with our accounts because they just can't do it. They're now frozen. Some experts say that we should keep our accounts frozen at all time unless we want to do something with them. That way, nobody can do anything with our accounts while they're frozen. But in this scenario, we're reaching out to them, reporting it, and we're having them freeze our accounts while we start the retrieval process for our ID. So we've already called the 3 main credit reporting bureaus. We're going to reach out to the Federal Trade Commission. Says what we should do is reach out to the company where the compromise took place and start working with their fraud department to clear this up. Like those 2 credit cards, I'm going to reach out to those credit card companies. I'm going to work with somebody in their fraud department to close those accounts. If I'm interested in keeping the card, getting a new card issued, but at least closing the accounts and eliminating any charges on there that aren't mine because I didn't do this. Somebody opened this in my name, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to get that cleared up. That loan, same thing with the loan company and the car. You reach out to work with their fraud departments. I'm also going to file a police report. A couple of reasons we do that. First of all, it gives legitimacy to the fact that somebody else did this. I didn't do it. Because let's face it, if I ruin my own credit and I want to blame it on somebody else, where's the last place I'm going to go? to the police, right? Because now I'm committing fraud. I'm trying to blame somebody else for something that I did. So I need to go to the police. I went to file a police report, and I went to get a copy of that police report and the police report number. And I want to keep that at hand in case I need to show somebody to prove, hey, no, I didn't do this, somebody else did. We're in the process of clearing this. Here's the report. I also want to reach out to the police because unfortunately with identity theft, it's sad to say, but a lot of times it happens close to home, so to speak. Somebody that we know steals our identity. Family member, friend, coworker, somebody who has access to our information. So we want to report it to local police. Hopefully they have one or more people that can investigate this and maybe hopefully find the person who did this to us. What else do we do? We're going to take notes. We're going to keep a notebook. We're going to keep those notes with the police report in case we need to refer back to them at any point. We're going to report it to the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office at 800-441-2555, or we can go to their website at attorneygeneral.gov. We're going to report it to them. They're going to do an investigation. We also want to report it to the Federal Trade Commission at 877-ID-THEFT, or we can go to identitytheft.gov, which is overseen by the Federal Trade Commission. Their website is ftc.gov. We'll have it at the end. So I can link to identitytheft.gov through ftc.gov, or I can go directly to identitytheft.gov. Identitytheft.gov is another reporting process, and it's a walkthrough process, like a checkoff sheet for everything that I need to do to report my stolen identity and to start the retrieval process, clearing everything up. Basically tells us what we need to do, how we need to do it, who we need to contact, how we need to contact them. If we need to write a letter, they'll tell us we need to write a letter. They'll give us sample letters that we can use. A great walkthrough process for reporting and retrieving our identity. And while we're doing that, we're creating another report that we want to get a copy of. And we keep that report with the police report as well as our notes in case we need to refer back to them, whether it's next week or next year, we have those available. All right, resources, state resources. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. We regulate the banking, securities, financial industries in the Commonwealth. If anyone ever has a question, a problem, a complaint, an issue, they can reach out to us. We have an in-house staff that will take phone calls Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. You call during those days and times, you should get a live voice. You don't get a live voice, you leave a message, somebody should get back to you within 24 business hours. 800 PA Banks or 722-2657. You can also visit our website at dobbs.pa.gov. A couple examples, right? Say I'm having an issue with my local bank that's not getting resolved. I need to have that issue resolved. You can reach out to us. Again, I use the thing with the financial professional. There's this so-called financial professional has this great investment opportunity that I think might be a scam. I want to report it to somebody, report it to us, so on and so forth. We mentioned the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office. Here's their contact information again, 800-441-2555 or attorneygeneral.gov. Local police department locator, in case you need it, www.policelocator.com/PA. They did not include a phone number. I did not see a phone number, but there's the web address in case you need to find the local police. Federal Trade Commission, 877-987-3728. Or www.ftc.gov. And if I need to, I can link to identitytheft.gov, which is overseen by the FTC, or I can go directly to identitytheft.gov. And finally, the Internet Crime Complaint Center at www.ic3.gov. Questions? And here's my contact information as well. Questions or any information to share. I love sharing information as well. Love sharing information, anything out there that I didn't cover that people need to be aware of, or any questions. But I know I covered a lot of information in a probably a quick period of time. But
thank you, George. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box below. Or George graciously gave us his email, so thank you for that.
yes, it's a fake email because I'm actually a scam. No, I'm joking.
Good one. That's a lot. And I know this past year and a half, it's been a lot of scams that I've seen. more and more. I don't know why over the past year and a half, maybe because
yeah,
people are home.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I didn't cover this, but it is noteworthy that one of the reasons it jumped over this past year, what did we have over this past year? That nasty virus. And what happens is, a lot of times scammers, they have these things that the tried and true that but they'll customize them to the latest disaster. And there's a good one with COVID, all the fake COVID testing kits that were out there. Oh, get your COVID testing kit and all these scams related to the COVID virus that's out there. And one of the reasons, and a lot of people, of course, online activity, the online scamming, cyber, with people, more and more people going online, shopping online, and so on and so forth, or just the social media, people being locked up.
George, we did have a question or a comment. Can I have this this slideshow to post with this video so everyone can have all the numbers and emails that you gave us?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'll
So
send
we
you a
will
copy.
post this. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yeah, I don't know if I can send the PowerPoint version, but I can send a PDF version if that's okay.
Yeah, that should work. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I know
Yep.
it was a lot to take in at once, so I think just to have a recap of that would be great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And somebody is calling me. Okay.
I don't see any other questions. Suzanne said thank you for providing the slides, which we again will put up for everyone. So I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of their Tuesday morning. George, thank you so much for your presentation and time as well.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I'm going to stop sharing my screen if that's okay. Very good. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day, George. We will be in touch and looking forward to posting everything for you.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you. Take care, Victoria.
Thank you. You too.
Or is it Veronica?
Thanks, Gary. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Gary. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.